What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? I'm a little bit under this weather, a little bit jacked up, but at the end of the day, we just gonna have to push through these ailments, man. Just push through these bad boys. A little bit. You know, it ain't gonna hurt. Right there, that's cool. Wait for seeing the video. My homies want to get up in here before we begin. Of course, we talking about today. We're talking about Rick Glaser. I think that I think he's just a hater. I think there was something between him and the PBC that happened, and now he's acting like a little pootie. He's crying like a big baby. You know, he's creating all kind of he's creating this like weird little beef between him and and the PBC. Particularly attacking Deontay Wilder at every inch and every corner that he can. Not only is he attacking Deontay Wilder, he's attacking the PBC. As we go on through the list of things, I got a few screenshots, all of which come from his Facebook account, social media account. So, at the end of the day, you can't refute it because it came from the horse's mouth. I'm not really tripping on it. Um, I'm just doing my thing. Y'all know how I do. I really don't. If you want to come in like clearer, if you're not, if you're on your desktop or anything like that, you might want to click on your settings in the right hand corner of kind of sort of ish of the YouTube video thing and click on HD because there's a couple of things in here. If you feel like reading along, you can. Um, but yeah, you know what? Let's just go on and get into it. So, Rick Glasser, he's uh, the guy you like to get your source of information from. You know, he had a rumor going around that somebody quoted, which is up on the screen, which he came back and said that, hey, this is what I said. So it goes on to say it's been brought to my attention by several and a boxing radio show this morning. There is an internet rumor going around that I said that the Wilder Ortiz rematch did 2,500 pay per view buys, which I have never said. That is a total fabrication story. That number never came from me. Before the fight, I predicted 100,000 pay per view buys, but I really don't think now it did 200,000 pay per view buys. No matter what the powers to be at Fox and or PBC announce at their pay per view numbers, I stand by everything I ever say or write, and that is clearly not one to be attributed to yours truly. I really appreciate you sharing this. Thank you. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Especially when he says that the in the middle of it, he basically says that no matter what the PBC or Fox says, my numbers are correct. My source of information is correct. Don't matter if you get it from the source, my numbers are correct. Which I think that he is totally false. I think he should sit down and shut the fuck up. And the reason why I say that is because, why do you want us to believe you so much with these numbers? Like you got something invested in this. You don't have nothing invested in this. You're like if you don't like Deontay Wilder's numbers, okay, yeah. Go and do your thing, get online and say what you gotta say and stuff like that. But don't come hitting people up and talking about believe me, believe me. Don't believe Fox and don't believe the PBC. Like, come on, bruh. See that 200. See, when he said 2,500, that caused restless ghouls to crawl out of their graves and crypts to attack Deontay Wilder based off of a rumor of 2,500 pay-per-view buys, which I believe this dude started. And even if he didn't start it, he didn't do nothing to quell it down like he should have. He didn't try to nip it in the butt. He didn't try to do that. Yeah, he came out and made some blanket statement because he was about to get some real heat. But at the end of the day, these people have not been seen or heard. See, all of these guys that's been around like months ago and stuff like that, and after Anthony Joshua lost and stuff like that, they ain't been nowhere near to be. They ain't nowhere near to be found for months. And now they want to come back. Now all of a sudden they want to come back because 2,500 pay-per-view buys. Like, if you're a fan of Anthony Joshua, be a fan of Anthony Joshua. Don't be a fan of Anthony Joshua because the getting is good. Don't dislike Deontay Wilder because he's going up, he's with the PBC, or because of liking him diminishes Anthony Joshua's name, would diminish all the accomplishments that he had. Don't do that. But after reading this first thing that you see on the screen right there, but who is Rick Glaser? Syndicate J, what's happening? Who is this Rick Glaser guy? Whatever you want to call him. Personally, I don't care who he is. He is a guy who talks about the PBC like he has a personal vendetta with Al Heyman. We don't hear Rick talking about Fury's ESPN numbers or anyone's DAZN numbers. Like I said, he has a problem with Al Heyman. And now that he's conveniently, now he is conveniently, right? He is conveniently in the pockets of the PBC. I'm sorry, but not PBC, but he's with Top Rank. This guy is with Top Rank. And he's out here constantly talking about Fox and ESPN and Showtime fighters that ain't with Top Rank. Right? So let's read that. Let me read that to you. So he says, some boxing notes from Vegas for your viewing pleasure. Going forward, I will now be receiving all media releases from Top Rank, including as soon as it's announced that fights go on which ESPN platform. This will help all of us to be better informed and now much quicker. Saw 19-year-old heavyweight Jared Anderson fight last night in what turned out to be the walkout bout, another first-round knockout. He is now 2-0, right? A very bright future for the guy. Then he goes on to say Jarrell Big Baby Miller has a new manager, James Prince. Wow, didn't know that. He's the co-manager of Shakur Stevenson and was managed Andre Ward right till Ward retired. And no, Andre Ward isn't coming out. That's what he said. Blah, 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 whoop, whoop. So this is some other shit. The guy clearly works for Top Rank. If, people out here on YouTube and Facebook, social media out here, some of these guys are going around saying that, oh, shit. There's this thing out there from this guy named Ricky Tricky, saying that Wilder did 2,500 pay-per-view buys. I'm going to run with that. He's credible. Rick Glaser is credible, right? Not knowing that this guy works for Top Rank. But Rick Glaser is credible. And now that rumor is ended, and now they went on to the next thing of saying it did 138,000 pay-per-view buys. Now they're going with the next thing that Rick said, or Rick allegedly said. Yeah, he said 138. But who fucking cares? Rick ain't in the know-how. Rick ain't in the club. So who the fuck cares? You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, if you want to believe this dude, go right ahead. Rick is there every step of the way when it comes to the PBC. When it comes to news with the PBC. He is here every step of the fucking way, right? So, as being and every step of the way when it comes to the PBC. So let's look what old boy had to say about Luke DiBella. So Rick Glaser basically said about Luke DiBella, he said this: a true terror of treachery in professional boxing. Now that media has finally picked up on the fact that everyone's favorite scum-sucking pig, Lou DiBella, has completely fallen off favorite with Al Heyman, and it's reported that DiBella fell out of favorite for putting together DAZN head honcho John Skipper and Deontay Wilder on a phone call together to arrange a meeting so Skipper could sign Wilder to DAZN, and DiBella did this without knowledge of consent of Wilder advisory Heyman and also Wilder's manager Shelley Finkel. but never had contract with Wilder. But Wilder ran to Heyman and Finkel, told him what DeBella has done. So now with Heyman really pissed off at DeBella, and with Heyman's obligated to show in regards to Wilder now in limbo because of DeBella. Heyman saved face with Wilder, so Finkel and Heyman go to the John Skipper meeting with Wilder, and was all known. Heyman turns down $100 million deal, allegedly $100 million from DAZN for Wilder, but now with Wilder set to make $3 million from Brazil, allegedly $3 million from Brazil. Showtime, Heyman is forced to go to the well and get to Showtime, his whatever he said, his money people Waddell Reed to come up with additional money to satisfy Wilder. Now making $9 million for a fight that's supposed to be make $3 million for, but DAZN had offered $20 million for Brazil, but it was tied to another Anthony Joshua fight for $40 million and a piece. So Wilder accepted the 9 gladly with a smile. It goes on and on about DeBella and the PBC and all this stuff and how DeBella got fired and all this stuff. But so fucking what? It didn't come from DeBella. It didn't come from nobody from PBC. So who did you get it from? You know, I'm not trusting this good. So, and then this guy, he goes out and he hits this Spence and Porter pay-per-view numbers, right? He hits the this Ricky Tricky, he hits that. He gets on Facebook and says, here's the real pay-per-view numbers for Spence Porter, right? He says 224,100,000 buys on pay-per-view, and with streaming purchases, there would be a 20% increase according to well-known and respected journalists. So coupled with those two revenue sources, 268 total buys is very accurate and strong numbers because it really shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. Would like to know your thoughts. First of all, that fight was a very good fight. That fight at the end of the night proved that it should have been a pay-per-view fight. It wasn't a pay-per-view fight to you because you don't like the PBC. But like everybody and their mama know that the Spence and Porter fight did over 350K pay-per-view buys. When you said your shit was strong, your math was accurate. From the sources that you got, it was 268K. Right, Ricky? Tricky? Right? You know, what else we got? What else we got next week? What else we got with old Ricky Tricky? So he got on the Spence numbers, right? And we come to find out that was false, right? And then Ricky Tricky comes out, right? And now he starts talking about how Spence ain't coming back. And then he keeps saying, my sources says this. My sources says that. And he says, many doubted my information on Errol Spence. This is all you need to know about Errol Spence. Condition. Multiple reports have contacted PBC wanting an interview with Errol to quell the rumors that he is badly injured. Far worse than PBC announced. And more than likely will never fight again. All the reporters got was lip service from Al Heyman's spin master Tim Smith. First of all, that ain't none of their fucking business to be talking about. That's that man's business. That's his HIPAA. That's his shit. The best thing to do is to make sure that they do what they need to be doing and their own thing and not talking to you motherfuckers. Because obviously, talking to you or not talking to you, Rick Glaser is going to be there every step of the way to critique and to hate. So fuck it. You know what I'm saying? This guy is talking about, let me send you some information on it soon. Can write a great article on this great fight. Tim Smith truly living up to the moniker. Spin Master, as I said, is all you need to know. Fuck you. You don't need to know. Why should I tell some of you motherfuckers? Obviously, some of you motherfuckers out there are only in there to get some information for breaking news. And a couple of likes and some other bullshit. And then I got another one with Rick Glaser talking about Stephen Espinoza, talking about how he cowtelling to Al Heyman. So he writes this back in November 30th. He says Showtime Boxing head honcho Stephen Espinoza is really losing influence in professional boxing. He says, as he has become almost irrelevant lately, Cal telling to Al Heyman, while Heyman has been taking the better fights and pay-per-views to Fox, leaving Espinoza with excuses to his bosses on why they paid Deontay Wilder $9 million to fight Dominic Breazeale. But since then, Wilder's been fighting on Fox, and now the Wilder Fury rematch is going to Fox and ESPN doing a joint pay-per-view, and Espinoza has whatever, dude. First of all, I believe Stephen Espinoza said, "Hey, we're not parting ways. We just don't think this should be on pay-per-view." So what did? They went with somebody that would put it on pay-per-view that has better exposure, and that's all. What's the big fucking deal, right? Right? So, let's go to the next one. So, as you can see, that every step of the way, Rick Glaser is there to count Deontay Wilder's money, right? So then Ricky Tricky, he goes out there to say this. Ricky Tricky says this: I'm traveling today from Vegas to Buffalo, and tonight I will have the real Wilder Ortiz pay-per-view numbers. And it isn't going to be pretty. It's another PBC financial bloodbath. So first of all, if you know the numbers are bad, why do you have to travel from Vegas to Buffalo to get that? If you know they're bad, why do you have to do that? It's because you want the people that's sitting back and listening. What's up, Tyrone? What's happening? I don't know how long be on, Tyrone. You want the people to sit back and listen to you and believe you you're trying to create buzz, your own buzz with Deontay Wilder versus Louis King Kong Ortiz pay-per-view numbers. That's the reason why you're trying to act like you're funny, but you're not. You're not. But if you want your PBC or your Deontay Wilder news, all you got to do is go to Ricky Tricky. Ricky Tricky got all the information when it comes to Wilder's pockets, Wilder news, and PBC news. Straight up. Now read this one. Look what we got here. Oh, I already showed that one. My bad. I already showed that one. Here's a good one, right? Oh, man, I'm missing one. Hold up. Oh, man, I'm missing one. Oh, damn, man. Son of my bitch. Oh, no, I'm not. I ain't missing one. Let me just... So I already covered how Ricky Tricky works for Top Rank, right? So Ricky Tricky works for that. So let's go into this one, right? Let's go on to one of Ricky Tricky's fighters. Now, I don't know if he's one of Ricky Tricky's fighters anymore. Tell me this, what's happening? Why they keep the numbers undisclosed? I don't know why they don't keep the number. I don't even know why the numbers is undisclosed. But I think Sean, I think it took 10 days for Porter and Spence numbers to come out. I couldn't tell you. It's not like I'm back there and stuff like that. Probably ain't good numbers, but I couldn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? But let's go into this next slide, right? So we got this brother man right here, right? We got old brother man right here. This is one of Ricky Tricky's fighters. Oh, Haskell, right? Oh, Mr. Rhodes, right? So Ricky Tricky, he got on the mic and started talking shit. Oh, Ricky Tricky. And he was like, I have a very nice announcement. I have had at least a dozen Al Heyman PBC fighters approach yours truly, right? Yours truly. Mouth is kind of dry. Yours truly about working together, but for various reasons I had declined till now, as I am finally going to work with a former Al Heyman fighter. Mr. Rhodes and yours truly are now working together, as I will now be Haskell's agent advisor, as Haskell's contract with Al Heyman has expired and Haskell chose not to renew with Heyman. In turn, I have now made a deal with Top Rank for Haskell to be on the co-feature on the ESPN Plus app on August 10th in Philadelphia against former WBA super featherweight champion Jason Sosa. Haskell's career recorded standard at 27-3-1 with 13 stoppages to his credit. But the keys to Haskell's record is not only has he never been stopped, never been on the deck, nor has he ever been cut, but on the advice of his then advisor Heyman against Haskell wishes, Heyman and Haskell fighting at lightweight. And even fought future world junior welterweight champ Nickanuts at 140 pounds. Now under the advisement of yours truly, the brain trust at Top Rank and his new trainer Danny Garcia have now determined that Haskell's weight will be 130, the super featherweight division. So for Haskell's new team and in place with Las Vegas resident will now fight for the first time in his real weight class. I like to thank Haskell for the confidence and he has expressed blah, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. And he went and fought Haskell and got beat the fuck up. What the fuck you know about boxing talking all that shit? You went and signed a dude, was dick riding and all that shit about signing the guy to your fucking brand, Al Heyman fighter, over to your fucking brand just for him to go fucking get his ass beat. The nigga got dusted off. Tyrone, yeah, he is. That's the best way to put him, Tyrone, is that he arrogant. That's the only way. That's the best way to put him. Thurman said, understandable. I can't wait. These haters are looking to bash Wilder for anything. Are they not entertained? Yeah. Oh, yeah. They entertained with their Twitter fingers. Rick Glaser is trying to stay relevant. You know it. That's what he's doing. But obviously, he's trying to stay relevant, but he signed this guy, and his dick was so fucking hard about this guy. He ended up receiving his first loss, his first TKO, because all of the other ones he was losing by unanimous decision. But then he come up over here and he get knocked out. He get knocked the fuck out. Dusted off. You know, you can't. You happy now that you got a PBC fighter? You happy now? He ain't even got nothing scheduled on BoxRec. He ain't fought since August. What you gonna do? It's December. Oh, he probably ain't got a job no more fucking around with you. So then we go into now. See, Ricky Tricky worked like this. Anybody that's associated with the PBC, Ricky Tricky is going to be there to try to clown on you. He's going to be there to try to diminish all the work that you did either inside the ring and or outside of the ring. So Ricky Tricky comes out here and gets on Lennox Lewis. It says Lennox Lewis was always a favorite heavyweight of mine, but nowadays Lennox has completely sold himself out to the PBC. And that's a shame. These days, Lennox should be wearing a short black dress and a pair of high heels, I say. And because of what he did was prostitute himself out to the propaganda of the PBC. Ah, shit. But be yourself. Don't fold. What a shame. I'm disgusted. As well, all should be. Shut the fuck up, Ricky Tricky. Lennox Lewis gives everybody props and also critiques everybody. You know how many motherfuckers that say, oh, I like Wilder's right hand, but, you know, I don't like the way he just moves straight backwards. I don't like the way he throws those left hooks. Blah, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. You see Wilder get mad? Do you see Wilder get mad? You say anything about AJ and how stiff he looks. Well, I never. You can't talk about big feminine like that. What's wrong with you? He's a god. He's the earth, the moon, the sun, the sunlight. He's all that. The big bag of chips with the dip. You can't be talking about no AJ around here, boy. Massa ain't gonna like that. Massa Hearn ain't gonna like that. No, not one bit. I'm gonna have to go tell Massa Hearn. I'm sorry. But boy, you unfucked up now. Nah, come on, man. What's that, Ron Figley? And this is Ricky Tricky. You know, when people get on the thing like this, man, you gotta watch them. You gotta watch these dudes. You really gotta watch these dudes because look at God damn it, man, this motherfucker making all these fucking sick and shit. Let me read this. God damn. So then Ricky Tricky goes out and do this, right? So Ricky Tricky tries to attack the PBC for putting on a few events with fighters that Ricky Tricky would like to call shot or washed up. But he makes all these kind of he talks about the PBC, but doesn't talk about everybody else. I mean, word on his, Nigel Benn was about to fight. Lucas Brown is still fighting. And David Price is still fighting. And aren't they washed up? So Ricky Tricky goes out on here and he says, here's a really good reason for yours truly not to like Al Heyman and the PBC because Heyman used fighters on their show that totally shot and should no longer be in the boxing ring with gloves on. Such as in the last 2 weeks, Peter Quillen, Angelo, Molina Jr., and Guerrero, and these 4 fighters were used in 2 most recent PBC shows, and there are many other PBC examples of this. Most of all, boxing insiders knew these 4 fighters were shot going into their respective fights. This is not after fight observations. Many say the PBC stable of fighters is so great and deep. Then, if that's the case, why use completely shot fighters that have or are on the verge of having neurological issues? That would be lingering lifelong problems for the fighters. I'm a very humane guy, and I couple with the deep inside knowledge of professional boxing that I process tells me that I never use a fighter that is completely shot. But again, I'm very humane. Just one man's thoughts. First of all, nobody's forcing these motherfuckers in the ring. Some of these guys have to fight to pay their bills, no matter if they shot, no matter if they not. But none of the guys that you have mentioned are over the age of fucking 40. None of the guys that you mentioned are over the fucking... Nigel Benn is in his fucking 50s. Lucas Brown is in his fucking 50s. I don't know how David Price is, but David Price has been getting his ass whooped. Arthur Spilkin has been getting beat around the damn ring like a goddamn ping pong ball. And he's still fighting. There's a lot of other fighters out there that have taken way too many knockouts. That have been on the ground longer than motherfucking 30 fucking seconds sleep. But you're going to come up over here and attack the PBC because you don't like them, and then you get on 4 guys, but a 50-year-old in the ring? Come on, man. Why you ain't talking about that? Ronald Figley, he butthurt, but he ain't no cigarette smoker. Motherfucker smoking crack. Let's go on to this next one here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's see what we got. Did I already read this one? I already read this one. I already read this one. Cherry picking off of the PBC. That's what he did with that one. He cherry picked a fighter, and this fighter ended up getting his ass whooped. Didn't work out. Suck ass. Right? And then look what Ricky Tricky wrote. Ricky old Tricky Mo Ficky. The pussy buying king of Top Rank. He said, the big question in boxing is why has Dillian White been number 1 in WBC for almost 2 years, but Edward Hearn never pressed the WBC hard for White's right to fight the WBC champion, Deontay Wilder? Well, first of all, he was the mandatory. Dominic Brazil was the mandatory for those fucking 2 years. And you never heard fucking Edward Hearn said, let's get him. You never heard Dillian White say, let me at him. Let me at him. Let me go. Let me go. Let me at him. Let me at him. Don't hold me back. You didn't hear him say that? You didn't hear him say he want a rematch with Anthony Joshua? How you get knocked out by a dude, but you don't want a fucking rematch? But you worried about Deontay Wilder this whole time. But you ain't worried about the motherfucker that dusted your bitch ass off. You ain't worried about Dominic Brazil, easy ass motherfucker win. Everybody know you can beat that motherfucker dude. But guess what you do? You worry about fighting Deontay Wilder because you're using Deontay Wilder's name to boost your fucking profile. Because you know that the Anthony Joshua rematch fight for you is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But why should I, as Dillian White, have to wait behind Dominic Brazil? Let me just cut in front of the fucking line. How about that? Excuse me. Excuse me. Silver champion coming through. You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up. Right? Then he says with Hearn never ever, he says with Edward Hearn never even threatening or going to court to impose White's rights. When Dominic Brazil was made the mandatory over White, that's all I would have needed to see to go to court to fight for my boxer into the mandatory position. A U.S. federal court judge would more than likely enforce the mandatory based on the merits. Sounds like Edward Hearn is playing serious games in relationship to White and Dillian's livelihood. Not a good look at Edward Hearn. Look, let me tell you something. You signed a contract with the WBC stating that you know the WBC's rules. So when it comes to you being in silver and Dominic Brazil being the mandatory, you signed on the dotted line that basically stated you knew your motherfucking place. Boy, know your fucking role. Drew Titan, what's happening, big man? Listen, man, Glaser is a notorious PBC hater. You damn right. He was telling me about 2.5 years ago that they were going out of business. Still waiting, Rick. Yeah, Ricky Tricky. Ricky Tricky. He can't help it. He cannot fucking help it. Look what he's writing about Dillian White. How you gonna sue when you set up over there? He gonna say based off of Dillian White's merits, he should be the mandatory. First of all, the mandatory fighter is not based off of fucking merit. It's based off of a fucking vote. Then if you want to go to merits, why the fuck did you fight Lucas Brown? Why did you fight Ivakin Burson? Why the fuck did you fight Robert Bullionius? And the list goes on and on. Why the fuck did you fight Derek Chisora for 2 times? Oh, you was trying to become a pay-per-view star in the UK. And that's what you was trying to do. You was trying to fake the phone. There ain't no need to fake the phone. Rick Glaser works for Top Motherfucking Rank. It's right here. Going forward, I will now be receiving all media releases from Top Rank, including as soon as it's announced with what fight goes on which ESPN platform. He's already in there. The bottom of this one. Is it this one? Nah, it's not that one. Is it this one? Is it yeah. See this one right here, it says now under the advisement of yours truly, the brain trusts at Top Rank and his new trainer Danny Garcia. He's in there. And this one was of which one is it? This one was December 1st. He works for Top Rank. Point blank, period. He works for Top Rank. He cherry-picked the fighter off the PBC, and that fighter ended up losing against Sosa, right? He talks about how DeBella, in this one right here, he calls DeBella a scum-sucking pig, Lou DeBella, and he talks about how DeBella DeBella went behind Shelly Finkel and Al Heyman's back and got Skipper in direct contact with Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder ended up telling Shelly Finkel and Al Heyman, and something even happened with that. And he goes on to talk about the World Boxing Super Series in here, right? And some other stuff. But I'm kind of like, don't nobody, with all this shit that you talking, with all this your sources says and all this stuff, I don't think anybody would want to fucking talk to you. Brown on Brown Boxing, what's happening? Why would anybody want to talk to you when you know you're just going to put the business out on the street? You see what I'm saying? Don't you think that some way, shape, form, if DeBella was fired and it didn't come from him, there's only a few people it probably could be that Shelly and Al Heyman know what happened. So if this is even true, they probably already looking through to see who gave up the beans to fire somebody. Oh, but you don't care about that. You only care about throwing some mud at motherfuckers. You one of them. You one of them. The monkeys at the zoo that's fed up with motherfuckers walking around all willy-nilly, and you just throwing shit at motherfuckers just because. Just throwing doodoo. Ron Finkel said, I like Lou DeBella. At least he tries to make good fights. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but if he did fuck up, he fucked up. I mean, if he fucked up, he fucked up. Why are you throwing shade at Lou DeBella, but at the same time trying to throw shade at Al Heyman and Shelly Finkel by saying that, then that, since Wilder was already talking to John Skipper, they had to show face, and then Shelly and Deontay Wilder had to go talk to John Skipper. But then John Skipper come back and apologize because he say that he wasn't even ready for the meeting. He was ill-advised about Deontay Wilder before he went to the meeting, to where he had to come out and apologize. As a professional, he made a professional mistake, and he had to come back as a professional that he is, and make a professional decision to make an apology. That's what professionals do. They don't walk around here playing games. They handle their fucking business. And John Skipper knows, for him to come out and apologize in front of the world, the whole world, that shows you that there is a fucking pecking order up over here. And the zone ain't on the top of that pecking order. You see what I'm saying? CB Sports TV, what's happening, baby? Yeah, I don't think his promoting is bad. I really don't think DeBella's promoting bad, Ron Finkley. I think he cool in my book with that. Ron Finkley said exactly. And they all forgot to mention Wilder asked their zone what's popping, and they weren't ready. Yeah, they weren't ready. They weren't ready, Ron. They wasn't ready for all that. They wasn't ready. They tried. But like I said, there's a pecking order. You don't come out and just apologize. It was a professional decision. He knew that it was in the best interest for him to come out and apologize like a man. Because he probably did belittle some people or said some shit in there to make somebody feel like that they were being belittled. But at the same time, there is a pecking order. There is a motherfucking pecking order. You ain't walking around here just thinking that you're going to take over America. And I'm pretty sure he's receiving his bumps and bruises along the way. He's getting beat up. Along the way, he's getting bullied. New fresh booty, fresh meat on the block. CB Sports TV, he said, Lou DeBella is a piece of shit. In my opinion, I never liked him. A true snake. I mean, well, you behind his. I mean, you seen the motherfucker. Shit, I ain't never seen him, but you seen him. I'm pretty sure you talked to him too. So, You know better than me. I'm not even gonna go back and forth with you like that, my brother. You've seen him before, so I can't fucks with you on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I seen you. You know, so I seen you out there on the front lines. I mean, so I can't even say that. You know, he ain't a piece. I can't say that he's not a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it right where it lay in CB Sports TV hands. So, you know, but yeah, I just wanted to come out here because I found a couple of things on Ricky Tricky's Facebook page. I don't think he really uses his Twitter and stuff like that, but I just thought it was very interesting on how, you know, when you go on these different boxing Facebook pages. Oh, we got L Foul player in the house. What's happening, baby boy?
What up, Mike? How you doing?
Not much, man. Just going over Ricky Tricky's Rick Nasty.
Glaser?
Yeah, going over his Facebook post. This dude's a clown.
Yeah, he's low level too, man. He's low level cat.
Yeah, it just seemed like, you know, I know he talked about how he was out of the boxing scene for a minute because he had cancer, you know, and shit like that. Which who cares? And then he just comes back, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm pretty sure Top Rank already swooped him up, you know. Oh, CB said he got his disgusting vibe from him. Yeah. If I get I'm not. That's what I said. CB Sports. You seen him, man. I'm not even gonna fucking. I'm gonna leave it right in your hands. You say it. I mean, I'm leaving it right there because I ain't never met the motherfucker, but it probably is so, man. And you're a good judge of character in my book, so I trust you with that, bruh.
Yeah, my bad. I wasn't listening to the first parts of your broadcast. Fucking 'cause I was doing some lawn shit. I mean some stuff in my yard.
Oh.
But yeah, I saw the subject and I wanted to hop on. Like that's why I was kind of like racing.
Oh, go ahead and say what you got to say.
Nah, well the thing is like that dude. If you look at his website or his Facebook's postings, like he wasn't really popping off like that. I mean, like even like the accolades that he's mentioning for himself, that he was a fight maker for. I'm not even gonna mention the cats that he was a fight maker for, but he wasn't like that. You could tell that he wasn't like that main dude in anybody's camp or for any writing publication. Like the people that gave him credit are like the Niagara Falls Journal, which is like fucking a small like publication out of Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? Like and Buffalo's not a major city. But since he opened his mouth about Deontay Wilder and PBC, like people prop him up. And that's the same thing with some of these bitch ass channels. Like you know, there's some people that were actually somewhat affiliated with the LDBC a year ago and got outed and were claiming to be lawyers and all this shit. And even when they were part of the LDBC, like when they were trying to move on their own, their shit wasn't popping off like that. And then they got outed and then they disappeared. And now they've come back as full-on Deontay Wilder hater channels, and shit pops off for them too. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get your pennies in a measly fashion like that, I mean, it is what it is, bro. Like fucking you roll with suckers, you a sucker. But that's the same. There's always a market for some fucking punk like that's spreading some bullshit, especially about, you know, somebody like Deontay that's doing his thing the right way, a brother that's doing his thing the right way. You know, there's always a market for some fucking herb that's wants to play the op to somebody who's rolling righteously in a fucking corrupt boxing game. But it is what it is, man. Like, you know, if you want to come out of your face, you know, there's always a quick buck for you. But it's the same thing, you know. It's the same as selling your ass, bro. You could always make money selling your ass, but you got to look in the mirror.
I'm not.
At one point or another.
Oh. I mean, I don't think they're a clickbait channel. I just think that I just think that I think that at a certain extent, like kind of like everybody kind of at some point or whatever. I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm speaking for myself. like sometimes I do like I would name my video a certain thing to where people would know, kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. It's kind of oh the same thing of branding. Brand. God damn, my nose is stopped up. Whatever, man. You know what I'm trying to say. Damn it. So there's a reason why I wrote it like this, because I wanted people to figure out what I'm saying and without many words. Uh, but the
No,
boxing voice, like
and
they cool, but I'm not really into channels that don't give their fans more more shout outs and stuff like that than they should. Like I believe that people do have, if people are on your channel and you got like 100, 200, 300 people on your channel, you do need to pay attention to that chat a little bit and show people some love and not be quick to dog people and to call them out for their bullshit and block them and shit like that. And because really, to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for people on your channel, Ron Finkley, Thelmus, CB Sports, and Drew Titan, going on people's channel, hitting that like button, people going on their channel, hitting that like button and stuff like that, people would be monetized. People would be get money and stuff like that. So yeah, you kind of do work for the people in your chat room, and I think that people should they could be more emphasis on that. But and then some of the topics I can't, I'm not doing some of the topics that some people, not just the boxing voice, but like some people do on their platforms, just not doing some of them topics. Like I don't think that every topic is a topic to talk about, because some people, in my opinion, don't deserve to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like Floyd don't deserve to be talked about. I think Adrian Broner deserves to be talked about more than, even though he don't let his hands go in the boxing ring. But Gervonta Davis, same thing. It's like he's on the verge of like, do I talk about him or don't I talk about him? Because this motherfucker ain't trying to fight. These motherfuckers ain't got this dude fight nobody yet. So Ron Finkley said they cater to the haters of real boxing in America. I see
exactly. I think nah, Mike, but I think
Go
that's
ahead.
what it is though, because I mean the Rick Glaser dude was an unknown, bro. Before like not this like Wilder story, but there was another story where he came out hating a couple months ago. So he was basically an unknown commodity, and then for him to be given a platform on such a big platform like Ness's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that Ness may necessarily believe that stuff or not, but it's because there's such a big market for hating on Wilder. I'm telling you, like, and if it's not a big market for people that love AJ, because AJ lost. AJ's last fight, he quit. So in essence, if you're a big time AJ fan or AJ hype fan, like your boy just got demolished a couple months ago by a chubby dude. So if it was like if that was the case, then a lot of these people that are such fanatics, they should have disappeared, but they really didn't, because like their focus wasn't loving AJ, their focus was hating on Wilder, and they still hating on Wilder. And with channels like that, to what Ron Finkley's point is that it is clickbait to a degree, but it's clickbait because there's such a big market for the hate on Deontay, man. It's just is what it is,
I
man.
mean,
Like,
I'm not. But at the same time, it's not like I'm not really. I'm subscribed, but I'm not like really paying too much attention. So I'm like, I saw they had a video today. I still ain't watched the Deontay Wilder video. I still ain't watched that. Like some of the stuff, I'm just not.
Well, like now it's not like a case of like like of shitting on somebody else, but it's just like knowing like what in essence like we're up against when we try to like say what's what with pretty much the only boxer who's doing things the right way at this present time, especially at such a high level like Deontay Wilder. Like to beat like with all these people that are coming up with excuses to hate on him, or channels that are coming up to hate on him. Like it's not like that I'm trying to shit on like Ness or whoever the fuck, but it's more like this is like the bullshit that like real boxing talk is up against. You got like people that are just straight up hating, and they usually hate on a particular group of boxers that it's not PBC necessarily, because I mean like fucking It's more like, you know, brothers from America, man. Like straight up, like they ain't nobody hating on Dillian White, man. Like, you know, Dillian White is quote unquote a brother too. Um, and he just got caught out there pissing hot, like with fucked up gloves. You know, nobody's like, people are harping in on like, oh well, like UCAD gave him a pass or whatever, but they don't even mention the glove thing, and that happened a couple months ago. But they'll mention
Oscar did. Oscar at the meeting in Cancun. I mean, but the only people that bringing up the gloves is us. Anybody else bringing up the gloves?
yeah, but like, you know, had that been
My
like,
bad.
you
You're
know,
right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, because ain't
but
nobody really
it's not just like that.
glove.
They hating on like brothers worldwide. It's brothers from like this country, honestly, man. Like,
well,
you know, like
even if you look at like movies and when you look at like TV shows and stuff like that, you know, a lot of people are tending to go with, you know, the foreigners before the Americans because they're more intimidated by us and stuff like that. You know, so they're going with the outside sources. Like look at how many they just added another Nigerian movie to Netflix. You got The Road to Nowhere, which is a good I think that's what it's called. It's a good Nigerian movie to watch with your woman. And then they got this other one, I think it's called Lion. It's called Lion something. It's about a bus company. Now they got this other one about these cats stuck on an island. But you know, hey, Brooklyn Child Boxing, what's happening, baby? I'll put the thing in the link if you want to get on.
yo, you sick, bro?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just finished from being sick too.
Yeah,
When I
man.
talked to you,
Fucking caught up to me, man. Shit.
uh,
Yeah, Ron Flickley said I haven't watched that TBV video either. Said it was enough to understand where the American chap is at. Man, I couldn't even. I watched it, but I ain't finished it all. And it was, and I wish like 78 would start taking those videos and chopping them up and have like a 1, 2, and 3. You see what I'm saying? So like, it won't be so long. So where like, if I watch this video, I could go to the next one. But if I don't watch it now, I don't have to try to figure out where I left off at. You know what I'm saying? But
shout out to Ron Finkley too, man.
but
Peace,
you know,
Uncle.
whatever. But you know, I'm not trying to tell a man how to do his thing because that cutting videos and shit, it be taking some time and shit, man. It be taking too much. It be taking too much time and effort and shit, man. Cutting videos and re-uploading them and shit like that. So I kind of don't blame him, man. But it is what it is. Yeah, man. I mean, let's see what some of the stuff I pulled up. So this one on the screen I got like right here. This one is a Rick Glaser or Ricky Tricky. He talking about how he never said 2,500. He said that it'd do 220K, but then he went on to say I don't really think that it would do 200K now. And he says no matter what the powers to be at Fox and or PBC announce at their pay-per-view number. So he's basically saying no matter what Fox and PBC say what the numbers are, my numbers are correct. You hear me, L?
Nah, yeah, I just heard you.
And then on this one right here, he goes on to say how he's working for Top Rank as far as December 1st. Then he says that he saw 19-year-old heavyweight Jared Anderson out of Toledo, Ohio. I believe that's where he's from. Shout out to that dude. I went to Toledo a couple weeks ago. And then he says that Drell Big Baby Miller is signed to James Prince right now. It's Jay Prince. And then he goes in to say, you know, Andre Ward ain't coming back. And then this is the long, lengthy thing. If y'all want these screenshots, man, just drop your email and I send them to you. So y'all can use them. Do what y'all want to do with them. I really don't care if you use them on your platform or you want to share it with somebody else or you want to post it and throw it at motherfuckers. I really don't care. I see the screenshots. Or you can go to his Facebook. Type in Rick Glaser, whatever his name is, at Facebook. You can find these dudes. Just look by the date stamps that's on these. And you can take your own screenshot and do what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hater. You know, I want people to spread this motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying? This is him talking about how Lou DiBella got fired. Right here, basically saying that Lou DiBella did some shit behind Shelly and Al Heyman's face by introducing John Skipper to Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder told on him. This one right here is a lie. He basically said, here's the real pay-per-view numbers for Spence Porter. 224K buys on pay-per-view. And with streaming purchases, there will be a 220% increase according to a well-known and respected journalist. So coupled with those two revenue sources, 268K total buys is a very accurate and strong number because it really shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. Would like to know your thoughts. And I basically said with this, first of all, it's a lie. It did way more than that. Second of all, after the fight, that fight actually proved that it was a pay-per-view fight. In my opinion, it was a slugfest. It wasn't like people were lollygagging, malingering, pussyfooting in the ring. It was a high volume of punches thrown. Championship motherfucking fight. Caliper fight. Fog Boxing Talk Plus. What's happening, baby? What's happening? So, let's see what else we had here, L. Ricky Tricky said, many doubt my information on Earl Spence. This is all you need to know about Earl Spence condition. Multiple reports have contacted PBC, wanted a new interview. Basically, long story short, in the other screenshots, you can hear him saying basically that Earl's a lot hurt than what they've been putting out, and that he's really doubting that Earl's going to come back and fight. You know, so he's putting that he's projecting ill will. So then Ricky Tricky, I got for you, Alpha player, is that Ricky Tricky not only goes at Stephen Espinoza, but also attacks Al Heyman in the PBC at the same time. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying, Al Heyman and PBC. You say Al Heyman, that's PBC. You say PBC, that's Al Heyman. So it's kind of, yeah, say either or, yeah. So then he attacks Al Heyman because he thinks that since Al Heyman is taking all the good fights to Fox, which all the fights ain't on Fox yet, he thinks that it's a way of, you know, a slap in the face to Stephen Espinoza, because Stephen Espinoza has to go to his bosses and explain why you just gave Deontay Wilder $9 million for Dominic Brazil and stuff like that. Well, first of all, Wilder's pockets ain't your business. You see what I'm saying? Wilder's pockets ain't your motherfucking business, because before he was talking about Wilder getting $9 million for Dominic Brazil, you was saying it was less than that in your Facebook post. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is with this thing right here is, first of all, Wilder could go back to Showtime anytime he choose. The thing about it is, when you go back to the videos, Stephen Espinoza, they was kind of making it seem like they didn't want to do it on pay-per-view. They didn't want to do it on pay-per-view. So they went somewhere else and did it on pay-per-view. Like, do the math. If you ain't signed and you don't like what you're going to get here, you go somewhere else. You know, it's just business, baby. It's just business. That's number 5. This is number 6. This is Ricky Tricky right here saying how he's traveling today from Vegas to Buffalo. And tonight I will have the real Wilder versus Ortiz pay-per-view numbers. And it isn't going to be pretty. It's another PBC financial bloodbath. See, like CB Sports said, and Drew Titus said, this dude right here is off the chain. I'm just recapping for my boy El Falpre because he missed some of this stuff. And then Ricky Tricky goes on to sign this Mr. Rhodes. And then he goes on to say how Mr. Rhodes never been knocked down, never been knocked out. Instead of fighting at 140, we're going to move him down to 130, unlike how the PBC tried to have him at 140, and they said that his weight class should really be 130, right? Right? Well, the guy, first time fighting at 130, he gets knocked out by Jason Sosa. So, Ricky Tricky was so happy about taking the ex-PBC fighter and boasting about how, the guy wasn't ringing up and with Al Heyman and them and stuff like that. And this, that, a third. And then, the guy gets knocked out by Jason Sosa in August. and the guy still not has a fight scheduled yet. So what you doing, Ricky Tricky? You signed Mr. Rhodes over with yourself as the manager or what advisor or whatever, without him in the top rank, and Mr. Rhodes ain't got a fight scheduled. What is it, Ricky Tricky? Huh? His first fight on ESPN Plus, he was knocked out. What is it, Ricky Tricky? Underrated. What's happening, my brother? What's happening, my black African brother? What's happening? Let's see what else Ricky Tricky had to say. He got on Lennox Lewis. He started talking about how Lennox Lewis should be ashamed of himself. Lennox should be wearing a short black dress and a pair of high heels. And because what he did was prostitute himself out to the propaganda of PBC, be yourself, don't fold. What a shame. I'm disgusted, as we all should be. He's talking about Lennox. Talking about old Lennox. Hold up, man. Somebody at my fucking door. Nah. I'm hearing shit. Got these headphones on. I start hearing every little creep in this motherfucking house. Make sure I ain't got nobody say nothing. Brooklyn said, "What's up to underrated darkness?" Yeah, but this is the kind of stuff that I found with old Ricky Tricky. You know what I'm saying? I think that if people are going to make videos, I'm just going to. If people are going to make videos about the information that they get from a source that cannot validate information, I think that you are dead as wrong. There's no way that you should take it. You could take it literal. You could take it this way and that way. But how do you validate Ricky Tricky's information when all he does is bash the PBC? You see, when people are bashing, when people are talking about in the LDBC with Dillian White, ain't nobody talking about his skills in the ring. People are talking about his mannerism as a man. The same thing with Anthony Joshua. Nobody doubts that these two fellas can fight. Nobody is doubting that. People are doubting their mannerism as a man. Like, why are you going around here talking about how you the mandatory, and then you get Scarface to come out and say Dylan White's been the mandatory for 2 years, when that's a lie? How can you take these individuals serious? You can't, and you shouldn't. You can't and you shouldn't. They can't validate the information, and their track record ain't clean. Track record is no way, shape, form clean. How is Ricky Tricky's track record clean? Right? Right? Oh, that's what I was hearing. My neighbor over there hammering something. He over there probably working on something. The track record ain't nowhere near clean, man. They need to get their shit together. That's just my opinion on the matter. I don't know how you guys see it, but when you see, I'm gonna show you something. And this kind of goes on the lines of what Ron Finley was saying. It's like clickbait. Like clickbait, because I don't think this dude took the video down. I don't think he took it down. No, I don't think he did. Oh, that's what he did. He fucked around, put a question mark on the end of it. He edited. That's what he did. So instead of So you got people like sporting icons going around here. You got people like I really don't care for. I say the names. 68 scrapbook boxing. That motherfucker that looked like he smelled like wet dog, Bruce fucking Vane, and a lot of these other cats around here going around here talking about this 138K pay-per-view buys with Deontay Wilder, right? But before that, a couple days before that, they were swearing up and down and did 2,500. Then it didn't do 2,500. Then all of a sudden it's doing 138. Now all of a sudden you're still right and we're still wrong. But you got the first numbers right. I mean wrong. Then you got the second numbers wrong. And then you still don't have the numbers wrong. And then the where the information is coming from is coming from the wrong source. How can you validate 138 pay-per-view buys coming from Rick Glaser? How can you validate it? How can you sit up over here and say, this guy is right? Oh, okay. For one way they do it is to say, if the numbers were great, the numbers will be all right, be out already. Yeah, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. Okay, another way they would say it is that how long did it take other pay-per-view numbers to come out? I think Earl versus Porter or Garcia, what was it? 10 days? That's their whole argument. Their whole argument is based off of assumption. Assumption. I'm going to assume that since these numbers ain't out right now, that it did 2,500. I'm going to assume that since the numbers ain't out right now, it did 138 pay-per-view buys. All the numbers are based off of an assumption. Most of these YouTube videos and these Facebook comments and these YouTube social media comments, right, are all based off of an assumption. It's said to be oh damn, Booty Warrior out. Fuck, y'all motherfuckers better run. Yeah, he probably go try to find AJ, right? He probably looking for AJ right now. Yeah. And another note, what else we got? We got Dillian Whites, right? Look like he's fighting. We don't hear nothing from UCAD. We don't hear nothing from the Triple BOC, right? We don't hear nothing from nobody. When it comes to Dillian White's adverse analytical finding, right? Don't hear nothing, right? I'm on the UCAS website right now. Nothing. Only thing they got is UCAD issues winter holiday travel guide for athletes. Still nothing, right? So, did the UK clear Dillian White to box again? Is he still going through a hearing? Is he cleared? What is the conundrum with Dillian White? Because the way I put it, if this dude did indeed take DN ball, if it was put it like this, I don't care if he took it or not. The shit was in his fucking system. He should be fucking suspended. This would be his second time popping for PEDs. It should be his second time, so he should be suspended. So I'm looking at something real quick, and I just got something interesting to tell you guys. I just want to look at one. Let me look at one thing, and I'm gonna tell you guys this. I'm gonna tell you guys what I just found. Damn, they beating the hell out of something. They're like they beat some goddamn guts out there. Y'all hear that shit? Okay, I knew it was on that date. Now let me see. Right. So I'm on the British Boxing Board of Control, right? Website. And I clicked on schedule, right? And I'm pretty sure these are probably only the fights that happen in the UK that they show over here, right? But I would need one of my brothers from the UK to figure out that information for me, because some of these names I don't know if they're in the UK or not. But nonetheless, did you guys know that that the British Boxing Board of Control most likely ain't a part of the Saudi Arabia shit? Did you guys know that? I mean, did you guys know that? From a news article I found, uh, trying to find it again. From the news article that I have found, it basically said that it would be done by so since Saudi Arabia doesn't have a uh, uh like a boxing commission with any history, with like history and shit like that. My fucking foot cramping like a motherfucker. It doesn't have that great of a boxing history. They're going to use a American based boxing commission and the Triple BOC for this fight. I'm sorry, American based boxing commission right along with the Saudi Arabia boxing commission for this fight, because Saudi Arabia doesn't have that many bouts under their belt. So I'm assuming that basically means that the whatever boxing commission that's coming in there, they're going to be like overseeing it, or yeah, overseeing the situation. Um, so that's another thing about it. You know, if it ain't the Triple BOC and it's somebody out here from the states, when did they start piss testing? When did they start piss testing? Um, I don't know, but I'm gonna go and get out of here, man. I need to lay my sick ass down. Shout outs to the LDBC and everybody stay sucker free.